Hi, here are some tips for tma02. The question for tma02 is explain how the development of identity is related to other areas of cognitive and social development. It's a 2,500 word essay. You're told that you have to use material from part 1 early years and part 2 middle years. You have to use 2 themes, not 1 theme or 3 themes or 4 themes, but specifically 2 and only 2 themes, and you have to attach your completed skills audit. You're also directed to read, and you must use, the stimulus article, Jarrett 2019, the title of which is Thinking About Their Multiple Identities Boosts Children's Creativity and Problem-Solving Skills. So we'll keep the question at the top of the page here. Explain how the development of identity is related to other areas of cognitive and social development. And we'll start by putting the development of identity in a bubble in the middle of the page, because everything that we write in this essay has to be about the development of identity and how it's related to other areas of cognitive and social development. So the stimulus article gives you a free starter because the very title of the stimulus article says that the development of identity boosts children's creativity and problem solving. So those are 2 areas of cognitive and social development that are related to the development of identity. And we also know that the way that they're related is that the development of identity, or at least thinking about their multiple identities, boosts children's creativity and problem solving. So now we've captured all that information on our diagram, and the only other thing to do is to note where that information comes from, and I've put a little J to show that it comes from the Jarrett 2019 article, and there's a key down here in the bottom left hand side of the screen that you can look at to remember what that is, because we're going to add some other sources in later. So you need to go through the module materials and try to find some other areas of cognitive and social development that are related to the development of identity. So let's say you've started going through your module materials and you found something else, right? I'm not going to give away what these something else's might be. There's a lot of things in the module that you can find that are related to other areas, related to the development of identity. So we'll put something in a blob down here. This is the something else that you found. Now you want to capture how it's related. So perhaps you found something else that the development of identity boosts the development of this thing. And let's say that you found this in the identity theme, because you're certainly going to want to use the identity theme in your essay. So here you can see that as you go through your module materials, you can start building up this diagram with the other areas of cognitive and social development that you find that are related to the development of identity. Now, it may not be that everything you find is boosted by the development of identity. So you might find things where the development of identity is boosted by the something else. So I've indicated that on the diagram. Or it may be that you find that the development of identity inhibits some area of cognitive and social development. Or you might find that the development of identity is inhibited by some other area of cognitive and social development. So you end up with a diagram that looks something like this. But what we need to do now is to put in where this information comes from. So what you don't want is you don't want all of these things to come from the identity theme. So I've indicated that here by crossing those through. They can't all be from the identity theme. You need to look at one other theme. It's not a guessing game. There isn't one theme that is perfect for this, and the other themes are no good. There's material you'll find in any of the themes. Oh, and do remember to look at your material from block 1, the early years, as well as block 2, middle childhood. So here we found some areas of cognitive and social development that are related to the development of identity, and they come from the identity theme, from the Jarrett paper, and from one other theme, which I've indicated here with 8 for another theme. And so as you go through your module materials, you'll start populating up a diagram, something like this. You might not want to do it in a diagram, you might want to do it in a table, you might want to do it in some notes on the back of a beer mat, whatever works for you. Now, do remember, as you're gathering your materials for your essay, that one paragraph in academic writing has to be about 1 point, not a topic, a point. The difference between a topic and a point is that a topic might be a single word or a single phrase, but a point is a sentence. It's something that you're trying to convince me of. So one paragraph is 1 point, and also one paragraph in academic writing is about 200 words. It's not hard and fast, but if your paragraphs are all a lot shorter than that, then you're probably not going into enough detail. If your paragraphs are all a lot longer than that, then it might be that you're rambling and your paragraphs don't have a point. So just use this ballpark figure. So, for example, because it's a 2,500 word essay, you know that if your paragraphs are on average about 200 words long, that means you're going to be able to have about 12 or 13 paragraphs in this essay, which means that you're going to need about 12 or 13 points. So here we've got 12, or you could put 13 bullet points in a list. The first paragraph is going to be your introduction. The final paragraph is going to be a conclusion. So that leaves 10 main body paragraphs that you need to write, which means that you need 10 main points that you're going to make. So one way to structure this essay is to try and find 10 of these little blobs, 10 areas of cognitive and social development that are related to the development of identity, and make sure that they come from the Jarrett article, the identity theme, and one other theme, and also that you cover both block 1 early years and block 2 middle childhood. So let's imagine that you've filled this out and you've put in all of the areas of cognitive and social development that you've found that are related to the development of identity. So the areas are the things in these round blobs here on the outside. You've identified how they're related to the development of identity. So that's the words that I've written on these arrows that show how they're related. And also that you've kept some notes about the sources, which I've indicated with these large bold letters in the box. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blobs in total. You might end up with more than 10, but you won't be able to put them all in your essay. You'll have to be a bit selective and decide what's going in and what's getting left out. So at that point, you could fill in your essay plan. You need to decide what order you're going to cover these in, and then each paragraph here has a point. So, for example, after the introduction, the first point here I've written is the development of identity boosts children's creativity. So you can see that's a good point for an essay, a paragraph to be based on, because that's a complete sentence. It's something that you can be trying to persuade me of. As you write those 200 words, you're trying to persuade me that the development of identity does indeed boost children's creativity. And then the second point is that it boosts their problem-solving skills. And as you go through, you'll see all of these are points that you can try and persuade me of. Now, you will need to fill in the blanks. I've made this up, right? You need to identify what is process A, what is process B, what is process C, what are the sources of these things. And I've made up all of these is related to words. Boost is boosted by, inhibit is inhibited by, depends on speeds up, just to show you that there might be a variety of those things. And so by the time you've gone through this process, you should have an essay plan and you should feel in a good position to start writing your essay. So good luck with it. And if you do have any questions or problems, remember you can always get back in touch with me. I'm on your side. I want you to succeed and do well and get a good grade in this essay. So don't be afraid of getting in touch.